Good morning. My name is Jennifer Lawrence, and my husband Jade and I have been attending Grace for the past 3 years. Between us, we have 2 sons, Noah, who is 22, and Reed, who is 16. We blended our family in November of 2021. My husband Jade has been my rock for the past 7 years. As I think about the way the Holy Spirit has worked in my life, I want to go back to March 26, 1981. That is when my mom married my dad, and then he adopted me that next year. I had a great childhood alongside my brother, who came around 3 years later. Mom always took us to church during our early years, but Daddy never went. Between the teachings, retreats as a teenager, and my mom, I asked Jesus into my heart in 1994 at the age of 14. After that, I feel as though I went through life feeling happy despite all the changes with moving, starting high school in a whole new town, completely different than what I was used to. My mom having another baby when I was 16. Who does that? She did, and I don't know what I would do without my sister. I did some normal rebelling as a teenager, but I knew I could not get into too much trouble, because my daddy had been a police officer for as long as I can remember. The Holy Spirit gave me a strength and a peace that endured despite my circumstances. The Holy Spirit also gave me a great example of what it looks like to love in my mom. Though my dad never was very interested in church, it did not dim my mom's love for Jesus or her love for my dad. In her, I saw a love that looked like Jesus' love for me. Then on June 2nd, 2003, my daddy got really sick and the dreaded C word came out. Daddy went to MD Anderson in Houston while I was not quite 2 months postpartum, so I stayed behind. Those next couple weeks were a complete blur. He then came home on hospice on June 13th, and that is where he died 2 days later on Father's Day that year. Because of the love that came through my mom all those years, my daddy was saved before he took his last breath that day. The Holy Spirit was definitely present, as I now know. I continued trying my best to take care of my son and move on while the pain was still there. I had all the emotions, including being mad at God. But he also walked me through that time of grief and never let me wander too far from his love. As a mom, one of the hardest things to do is watch your children struggle. As moms, we just want to fix it, wipe away the pain, and make it all right. We want to protect our children from others and sometimes even themselves. That is not always possible. My son Noah has struggled with in some areas of his life and was diagnosed with social anxiety. And ever since moving here in 2021, he has been struggling to find himself, get a job, and function as a normal adult. I had always thought it was my job to protect my son, not my husband or anyone else. But recently, the Holy Spirit led me to lay it all at his feet. I and many others were praying for my child, and I recognized that what is beyond me and my ability is not beyond him. And wouldn't you know it, I saw the Holy Spirit move in a powerful way, and I got to begin to see the prayers that I and many others had been praying begin to get answered. I know the Holy Spirit is just getting started, and I can't wait to watch it all play out. I will trust that the story ends good, and I will learn to follow the example of my mom, who simply learned to love and trust God. Happy Mother's Day, Mama. Thank you.